Religiously, understand the seven principles of hell. You'll understand the seven demons within you. You'll understand the whole concept. There's a whole metaphysical concept. We'll go over that, but anyway.
There's so much of this going on, so we're gonna touch on this topic, all right? And we're gonna we're gonna really touch on this one, all right? I hear so many people talking on this topic. This is crazy, all right? Real crazy. Tyler lost on social workers shopping trip, all right? Why I'm bringing awareness to this, right? Because if there's a parent that did this, all right, they would go all crazy, parent behind bars. They did arrest this social worker, all right? So let me tell y'all that she is arrested, all right? We got to look into how long, all right? I'm still reading into this. This was given to me last night. I had a few people on my DM. Yo, what do you think about this case? What do you think about the little boy? Boom, boom, boom. So today we're going to talk about it. We're going to bring awareness, all right? And I'm going to ask mind-provoking questions. And let me just say this before we get, we dive into this, all right? Let me just say this, all right? For those of y'all, all right, that are not a part of the solution, all right, that don't want improvement, this is not the law for you. So I suggest that, you exit left, all right? The doorknob's right there. Just make sure the good Lord doesn't split you, all right? You don't got to be here. If what we're saying in our opinions offends you and it bothers you and you're tired of hearing it, stop feeding the same shit, all right, that you hate. I did a live about that the other day, all right? If you don't like what I'm saying, hey, don't give me a view. Don't hit on my channel. Don't hit my channel. Don't check it out. Don't do nothing. If you feel as though that by reading a title you don't disagree, and if you don't got the time to listen to what I'm actually saying, right? And I mean listen, not just hear. I mean listen. Don't come. Don't show up. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, okay? I just wanted to put that there, all right? I get tired of sometimes reading, all right? Because, I got to look at the chat, especially if I'm asking questions. And I get tired of people saying, oh, ain't nothing going to happen. I'm tired of hearing this. I'm tired of hearing this. I'm tired of reading this. Them motherfuckers, you don't got to be here. Exit left. All right. So let's get back on point. All right. We was talking about the Tyler lost on a social worker's shopping spree. All right. The recent death of a Tyler left in a scorching car during a social worker's store run shatters any illusion that our system has a child's back first. All right. First, the parent must answer for their absence. All right. Listen to what I said. First, the parents must answer for their absence. Then we turn our eyes on the way department meant to protect this little life. If true oversight had existed, that child would have ended up under the watch of someone bound by paperwork, not love, all right, not love or urgency. We must hold both parents, all right, and DHS accountable, demand transparent investigations and policy reforms to prevent future horrors. Let's honor the ancestors' wisdom by reclaiming our responsibility to protect the most vulnerable among us, all right? Let's take it beyond the talk, all right? When it comes to these schools, all right, we need to donate school supplies or sponsor a local teacher wish list. Volunteer, all right, when it comes to, how can I say, these schools again, volunteer with child welfare organizations and demand stronger oversight, all right? Advocate for clear enforceable policies, all right, when it comes to like the toddlers and stuff like that. Advocate for clear enforceable policies that place child safety above all else. All right. Facts, facts, OG, facts. Let me see. Facts, Gary HP, baby. All right, CK just said, sorry, I'm traveling and I can't type on the phone well. No page for content and it's on private, but I appreciate your words, sister. All right, bet, CKJ. But if you do got links where people could read, the stuff that you got out, if you got the books to publish and stuff like that, man, leave it down below because I do got people that love reading. Yep, see, if you got links to that, if you got, anything that involves that, man, leave your link down below. Wait, I gotta do this for CKJ to do that. Wait. Yeah, leave the link to your books and stuff like that so people could check you out. All right, so let me see what Gary was saying. Gary said, they looking for you. They looking for me. Who looking for me? Hey, people need to listen to understand. That's some real shit. That's what they need to do. And people have a hard time, a real hard time, right? Listening. They hear you, but they're not listening to what you're saying. All right. Blessings, Haman Mohammed. Um, all right. So we're gonna start off by bringing awareness to the toddler, right? And what's crazy, right? Before we dive in, I need you to sit with this. A black toddler died alone in a scorching car while the person assigned to protect them, right, went shopping. This isn't just a tragedy, it's a reflection of a system that sees, right, children's life as disposable. If you're not disturbed, you're not paying attention. Let's talk about it. All right? So I want y'all to listen to this.
Shopping left a 3-year-old in the car to die. Put it full match. Birmingham police still have not made an arrest after a social worker.
Update, she is arrested, so I gotta pause this and let me read this article for y'all. All right, let me take him off the screen real quick. All right, and I know some of y'all might get bored because oh, she's reading an article. Well, guess what? Deal with it. All right, because if I'm going to talk about it, I want to make sure I have everything in its full context. All right, in order for us to improve what we're trying to improve. All right. So I gotta pause it. All right. So as y'all can see, let me see. I'm over here with it. Right here it says DHS contract worker charged in 3-year-old's hot car death doesn't show up for court. All right. And this is who the social worker is. She has been charged, right? Here we go. Before we play the video we was playing.
Manufactured housing consultant of Laredo.
Why is you taking so long? Are you really gonna give me an ad? A 10-second ad? I hate this. But I gotta give y'all the source, all right? And this is KJNS News, all right? This is all over. Like this news article is everywhere.
State 6 on your side. We have now confirmed a woman charged in the death of little 3-year-old KJ Starks. Well, she did not show up for court today. Court records say Keila Stanford, who you see pictured here, was supposed to make her first appearance this morning. Well, KJ Starks, as you know, sadly died after he was left inside a hot car for about 5 hours a couple of weeks ago.
That is crazy.
Prosecutors say he was in Stanford's care when she is working for Covenant Services, contracted by DHR, by the state, to take Starks to and from daycare. Your reporter, Bria Chapman, tonight working to learn more about that company, Covenant Services, and live with what she found, Bria.
But here's my thing. How did this social worker forget this child for 5 hours, right, in the car? Wasn't she en route to take this child to his biological father? You see where I'm coming from? And people, and I keep hearing so many people say, oh my God, the parents. Oh, I feel so bad for the parents. Bitch, if the fucking parents, I'm sorry to say it, they're the first ones to blame. Because why is their kid in the system? And I know people deserve second chances, but by the way I see things in this era nowadays, we got neglectful parents, immature parents, all right? Some of them might need some parenting classes. And what's crazy is that none of us was born with a manual. And what's crazy is none of us was given a manual when we gave birth. In reality, we have to learn. We have to learn our kids. So the first people that I blame is the parents. Because if the parents cared enough, their child wouldn't be in the system to begin with, being taken care of by someone else, being transported. by another person. So that means there was something going on in the household with the parents, which led to this child being in the system, being transported by a complete stranger back and forth from the system to the parents' home. But you know what? According to people, I'm tripping because of what I'm saying. That just shows me where you stand at, who you are, and what you're about.
Yeah, that is right, Jonathan. Like you mentioned, Covenant Services, that is the company that DHR contracted with to transport children. And today I followed up to see if they are still being used following the death of 3-year-old Katoria Starks. Now, I requested a copy of the contract and I asked for an update on the status of that contract to see if DHR was still using Covenant Services. Now, as of this report, I have not received a response. State leaders, though, are calling for more accountability for DHR when it comes to protecting the most vulnerable in our community.
This tragedy has revealed glaring cracks in the system,
Facts.
cracks that cost a child his life. And we must ask the hard questions. How did this happen? On the watch of those entrusted with KJ's care.
And this is why we're doing this live. All right? This is why we're doing this live. Why was this child left in a car in the first place? All right? And the solution for this, right? For those of you that think this is a waste of time, I feel as though we need to mandate real-time child tracking protocols for social workers, especially during transport. No child should be forgotten. All right? We should talk about what kind of training or lack thereof allowed this to happen. All right? Solutions for this. All right? We need to require trauma-informed anti-racist training for all child welfare professionals, not just once. All right, ongoing. Why I say that? Because, and not just racist, all right? Abuse. We don't know what the fuck happened in that car. What the hell this social worker was thinking, all right? If your job was to transport this child to the parent's home or transport this child back to this establishment the child was in, that was all you were supposed to do. You were not supposed to detour, go shopping, or do anything else. You get paid to transport children from place to place, not to sit there, not to have a conversation, not to leave a child for 5 hours while you go shopping or while you on a date or whatever the fuck this DHS worker was doing. She's not a DHS worker. My bad. She's a transporter. All right? Would this happen if the child wasn't black or brown and didn't come from a community that's considered, how can I say? Yeah, from communities that are considered poverty? How do we bring a solution to this? And I feel as though, right, we need to audit racial bias in child welfare cases, publish the data, hold agencies accountable. But what's crazy, this is not racial, right? Because they say that black on black crime don't exist. Shout out to Make the Great Podcast for bringing that topic up. Shouldn't this be considered a black on black crime? Why was this child left in this car by himself for 5 hours? According to this, I've heard 3 different statements already from this worker. 3 different statements. All right? It's 3.
Where was the oversight? What protocols were broken? Or worse, never existed. This is not just about one individual. It's about a system that failed us.
Yeah, and Keila Stanford, that is the woman prosecutors say left KJ inside that hot car. She is out on bond for a Class B felony. Now, WBRC confirmed Stanford will be set for another.
Oh, so she's not arrested. Oh, yeah, she didn't appear to the court case. Ray, you slow? Guys, I apologize. I need some smoke. I need to call my baby daddy. I need some bud. I need Mary Jane in here. I might need some Jack Daniels after this. Because what's crazy is that if a parent would have did this, a parent would have been behind bars, no questions asked, child taken into the system. But this social worker was able to pay the bond. A parent's bond would have been outrageous. Why was it so easy for this social worker to get out so fast? God damn. Who's helping this social worker? Who's supporting? Like, is you serious? I wouldn't have helped. I wouldn't have put a penny on that fucking bond.
Other hearing.
Because y'all know what I think about when it comes, even parents, right? That unalive their children and are neglectful like this. I feel as though, what do y'all think? What do we say here? What do we say? All right? We need to build caskets. All right? That's what we're going to do. We building caskets, all right? I ain't joking around. We building caskets. That's where I feel as though that social workers needs to be. In my opinion, I don't think that just sex offenders belong in a casket. I feel as though parents that don't give a fuck about their kids, unalive their kids, and neglect their kids to the point where their child's got to be in a casket, they should be one. They should be in one, right behind them. And I know a lot of people's gonna get mad about what I'm saying, but guess what? I don't give a fuck about your opinion right now, unless it's gonna sit here and it's gonna fucking, how can I say, help. It's gonna improve something.
Next month. Now, if she does not appear in court at that time, a warrant could be issued for her arrest. Your reporter live tonight in Birmingham, I'm Bria Chapman, WBRC.
Why didn't the warrant get issued for arrest now? If it was a parent, the warrant would have been issued for arrest. And this is the lady that left that child in that scorching hot car. 3-year-old, right? K. Torres. All right, say his name. K. Torres. 3-year-old K. Torres. Let's not forget his name. All right? This bitch right here left him in a scorching hot car for 5 hours. What were you doing for 5 hours? How did you forget a child for 5 hours? And what's crazy, let me see if I can find the call that she made the parent while we get back on him. Because she called the parent. Oh, yes. She had the audacity to call the parent to say, I'm sorry, but couldn't show up to court. But let's listen.
Left a 3-year-old child in a hot car to die following a shopping trip. Authorities identified the child as Katorius Starks Jr. He died on July 22nd after being left unattended for 5 hours in a car in which internal temperatures reached in upwards of 150 degrees that day. Attorneys for the boy's family say that Starks, who was in temporary foster care, was picked up from daycare at 9 a.m. by a social worker for a scheduled supervised visit with his father. The visit concluded at 11:30 a.m., at which point Starks was supposed to be returned to the daycare center. But Starks was never dropped off. Instead, the social worker picked up food for her family, shopped at a tobacco store, then drove to her home in Birmingham, parked in the driveway, and went inside, leaving the young Starks in the car. Chief Deputy Coroner Bill Starks estimates that Starks was left in the car from 12:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m.
How? Why?
AL.com reported this. The vehicle was not on. The windows were rolled up. There was no relation.
That's what's crazy. She's a social worker. Wasn't she trained? Why would you leave? You know better than to leave a child in a car on a scorching hot day, windows up, no AC. Why would she do that? Isn't she the same person that transports kids, right? They get taken from parents who do the same thing? Am I tripping? Yeah, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. Like, you've got to be kidding me. I know she's not a DHS social worker, but motherfucker, I know you've been trained. This is your job. You do it every single day, and not just one child, multiple children. Get out my face for the excuses that people are putting for the social worker, for the excuses that the people are putting for the parents. Why are social workers, right, stretched so thin that a quick errand becomes a fatal? Fund child welfare, like we need to fund child welfare departments adequately. No more overworked, undertrained staff making life or death decisions. Was this worker overworked? Was she transporting too many kids throughout the day? Like, does she need a break? Let's be serious. Let's ask the conversations that really do matter. Like, what's crazy is, right, I'm not here to blame anybody. All right? I'm here to build. I'm here to improve. I know that some of y'all hear me speak on these tragedies and think I'm just pointing fingers, but let me be clear. I'm not here to tear us down. I'm here because I want better for us. I want us to stop repeating cycles that keep killing our babies physically, emotionally, and spiritually. All right? When I say the parents failed, when I say the system failed, I'm not saying it to shame. I'm saying it because we got to face the truth. All right? If we ever want to change it, we got to face the truth. I want us to be so rooted in love and accountability that no child ever ends up in a hot car while the adults are out shopping. I want us to be strong in community that DHS isn't the only option. Huh. But if only, right? That we show up for each other before the state steps in. All right. I speak with this fire because I care. I critique because I believe in us. And I ask hard questions because I know we're capable of hard answers. I know we're capable of making improvement, of making change within ourselves. But we're too caught up, too busy in the trend, too caught up, too busy looking at celebrities as gods, too caught up, too busy, right? Getting fucked up and tore up that we forget that, well, I'm going to say people forget, all right, because I don't forget. You got me fucked up. I ain't getting tore up unless my child is well taken care of. That's why y'all don't see me constantly drink or none of that shit. But we got to get it together. All right? I know we're capable of the hard answers. We're capable of putting in that footwork. All right? So if you hear me and feel uncomfortable, good. That means it's hitting something real. But don't stop there. Sit with it. Grow from it and build with me. Because I don't just want to expose the problems. I want to co-create the solutions for our kids, for our ancestors, for us. It's too many of us making too many fucking excuses, yo. I get tired of that shit, yo. Like, how do we allow a single advocate to transport our most vulnerable children without real-time oversight? Once again, all right, we need to institute live GPS tracking, in-car video monitors in every child transport vehicle with alerts to supervisors if routes or stops deviate. All right? Why are caseworkers shielded from immediate consequences when tragedy strikes under their watch? Let this have been a parent on some real shit. We need to create an independent oversight panel empowered to suspend duties and pausing paychecks pending a transparent investigation. What does it say about our society when the death of a black toddler barely ripples beyond local headlines? But let us talk about a Kwame Brown. Let us talk about a Krishan Rock. Let us talk about a Kevin Samuels and watch that shit hit headlines. Situations like this in our communities, right, don't get talked about unless something is gained from it. And that's the fucked up part about it. I could sit here, right, and I could joke around, talk shit, right? But in reality, when I bring solutions to the table, people walk away. I could rap about it. I could make music about it. But I choose to fucking come to the round table and bring solutions so that we can improve our everyday lives.
They don't talk about us, only when there's a crime. Would you believe me if I was to tell you that in this world, with or without money, we're all rich, even the poor? The problem is those that say that I'm reaching out to give a hand, and stay they leeching hands is itching, ready to see you missing. Well, thinking what to write, something inside me told me I can freestyle or I can rap. I can go with a rhythm that can make you dance. Tell you what I see on a daily, tell you everything's okay just to avoid dilemma. Or I can simply bring you something positive to the table and warn you of the ongoing problems that we're having. Instead, I have to reach out to my conscience once again as I watch the crime and the violence rise and the kids lose their innocence. Now the concept of forming a home day by day loses its essence. They don't want to hear that. I can't keep my arms crossed in front of the system. If I don't do something, I'm also part of the problem. As guilty as the one that pulls the trigger, like the person in the crowd that hits the record button on their phone to expose a lie instead of the truth for clout. They need 1,000 views. The government doesn't have a solution. The problem started when we took God out the equation. The problem ain't us celebrating. The problem is that we're a nation divided when we should be a nation united and pray. That's how we live today. When problems occur, we come up with a meaning. Laugh a little, move on with no care in the world, as if it ain't even a thing in this world. If it's like this today, I don't want to see the future. Because nowadays, they'll make a meme out of a person that can't even see the day of light no more. What makes you think they care? They can't even break bread at the table. I don't know how you want to be rappers and lyricists can go on with life, living on an illusion of nothing good to write. Talking about killing someone, selling drugs with pride, until the scripts are flipped and it's someone you love dies. Right? This ain't solved by activating the National Guards and going behind bars. This is deep, this is me and you. And they say as time passed by, we'll heal everything. Shit, you know these scars? I seen time flash by and never felt everything. Leaving me on standby, ready to kill everything. Alone in the mirror, looking at myself, say, girl, you're everything. You don't need for anything, shorty. So unless you walk a mile in my shoes, don't say anything. Just take a minute and listen so you can consume everything. Me and you are not the same, so make sure you look both ways when you cross me, and that's on everything.
And that's some real shit. That's how it be, yo. We got the beautiful Miss Chicago in the building. Blessings, Miss Chicago. How you doing? Welcome to the live, yo. Like, and that's why I do these lives, man. And I gotta give a big shout out to the Word. I gotta give a big shout out to Gary Bust It Down, man. I gotta give a shout out to Nate the Great Podcast, all right? Shout out to the 9, all right? 9 in the building, baby. And yes, a shorty is associated with the 9%. Yes. I do not deny that, all right? Like, I love the fact that these men come on here and they bring awareness, they talk about it. Gary is one that would sit here and bring the mind-provoking questions just like a shorty, man. I love that out of my OG, yo. For real. And that's what we need out here on some real shit. We're not challenging these kids the right way, all right? We're not guiding them the right way. And I'm saying we because at one point, right, a lot of us fell too, right? Like I said, parenting, right, didn't come with a manual. They do got a book out there, you know, for dummies and shit. But in reality, parenting didn't come with a manual. You learn your kids as time goes by. All right? Like, we need to get our shit together. It's too much of this going on. Once again, what does it say about our society when the death of a black toddler barely ripples beyond local headlines? All right? Sit with that.
Between the chief and the child. The child was found fast in his car seat and unresponsive at 6:03 p.m. He was pronounced dead at the scene after medics were called. Quote, "This is a heartbreaking and preventable tragedy," said the family's attorney, Courtney French, per ABC 340. Quote, "With current extreme outside temperature, and the heat index of 108 degrees. The interior temperature of the car where KJ was trapped likely exceeded 150.
Yo, this social worker was fucking tripping, yo. She had the baby in the oven broiling. Like, is she okay? What the fuck? Yo, having that baby in that car was not no different from having that baby in the oven. I think it's broiling, if I'm not mistaken, 150. Man, I gotta go look at over there in my little oven thingy. I know I'm not tripping, yo. What in the world was going on through this social worker's head? What was so important that you left a child that you were left to, take care of alone for 5 hours? You did 5 hours shopping while you were working? How many workers do this? How many workers like this are out there? But what's crazy is we're going to hear the phone call in a minute. Oh, we're going to hear the phone call.
"50 degrees," end quote. Another quote. "This is a parent's worst nightmare. Our baby should be alive," the child's parents said in a statement provided by French.
I get that. And what's crazy, right? It may shock a lot of y'all, but it doesn't shock me. And it's not going to shock the people that I know and the people that have been watching me for a while. I don't feel bad for the parents. I don't. Because before we have these kids, we have to get our shit together. All right? We really do. We cannot keep letting this happen. Because now we're blaming the system over something that could have been prevented. Why was this child in the system to begin with?
This is a difficult story. So I'm pacing through it. And out of full my sister died this week.
Condolences to you. Condolences, yo. Damn. Everybody's passing away. Well, he's got a hard topic on his hand talking about death while, mourning the death of someone that he cares about. Shit, my condolences go to him, and may his sister have peace in paradise.
And she was in the car. I can't imagine what the family's going through. But there was this supposedly responsible, trained, and competent.
Trained where?
Trusted individual.
If she was trained, she forgot her training.
Whom the family said, "You are so trusted. You will be the mediator for us. You will be the liaison. We will trust you with the very thing that is most precious in our life."
I ain't trusting nobody with my
The employee who transported Starks has been fired, according to a DHR spokesperson. The state agency said the individual worked for Covenant Services, a company contracted by DHR.
That's crazy.
Quote, "A child in DHR custody was being transported by a contract provider when the incident occurred," a spokesperson for Alabama DHR told AL.com. While further adding, quote, "The provider was terminated. The provider has terminated their employee due to confidentiality. DHR cannot comment further regarding the identity of the child or the exact circumstances," end quote. Birmingham police interviewed the employee, but no arrest was made.
Until recently, she got arrested on the 5th. And then bailed out. And she didn't make it to court.
Joe L. Roberts, Chief Deputy District Attorney for Jefferson County, said on Friday, the results of the investigation will be submitted to the DA for any possible charges according to the New York Times. Quote, Stark's death marks the first hot car death in Alabama since 2025. In 2025, excuse me. At least 16 children have died this year after being left in hot vehicles, according to a report by Kids and Car Safety. Make sure children are not in hot cars.
Wait, if there were 16 of them, how does his death make the first one in 2025? Y'all just confused me. That math ain't mathing.
I don't know why the Birmingham police did not effect an arrest. I've gone through this in my mind as to what could.
Well, she is arrested, all right. So we will do an update on this, all right. But I want y'all to hear the call, all right. Let me put the phone call on real quick. So I got the video here, and I want y'all to hear how she calls the parents. She's got guilt in her mind. That's all she's got. Good morning, baby. Like, this lady's got guilt. I'm telling you. If not, she wouldn't have made this phone call.
Boy died in a hot car. We're learning more about what happened the day a little boy died in a hot car. We now have an audio recording reportedly from the contracted DHR worker who's accused of leaving 3-year-old Katoria Starks Jr. in her car for hours. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Guy Rawlings.
And I'm Brittany Decker. The child's family, who hired an attorney, says the worker called to apologize. KJ, as he was known, was found dead last week after a visitation with his dad.
WVTM 13's Magdala Lusant spoke with the family's attorney today. Joins us now. What did you learn, Magdala?
So, Guy, I spoke with Courtney French, who is representing KJ's estate and the family, and he tells us with permission from the family, he shared the recording with me and says it's the contract worker who has since been fired from Covenant Services. And I listened to this 3-minute clip from the call, though, in which she says that she forgot the little boy was in the back seat. Now, she has not been charged, she has not been identified, and we've chosen to disguise her voice. Katoria Starks Jr.'s family wants answers. The 3-year-old died in a hot car while in the care of a DHR contract worker. Courtney French represents the family.
And that's what we just can't understand. How did she not know? How did she not know from 9 o'clock in the morning until when she picked him up until 5:30 that this child was in the car? How do you not know?
French shared a recorded phone conversation with us. He says it's KJ's dad and aunt speaking with the Covenant Services contract worker who's since been fired. She hasn't been charged with a crime and has not been identified, so we are disguising her voice.
I got sidetracked and stopped off and got something to eat. And when I came out, instead of going to the left to the daycare because I got called and said I didn't have a case, and I instantly said in my head, well, I'm done for the day and go home. I'm truly. And so sorry is not even enough. The truth.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Did y'all hear what she said? Wasn't she going shopping? Wait a minute. I got sidetracked. I stopped to get something to eat. And when I came out, instead of going left to the daycare, I got a call that said I didn't have a case. I instantly said in my head, well, I'm done for the day. I'm going home. With a child in the back of your car? But he was left in the car for 5 hours. So which story is correct? Did you go shopping for 5 hours for your family? Or did you get sidetracked, right? With, and stop to get something to eat? And when you came out, instead of going left to the daycare, you got a call that said you didn't have a case? No, something not adding up, guys. Come on, let's be real. Did she do something to this? Did she do this on purpose to this child? Like, did she have something towards the parent, or the person that's taking care of the kid and she decided to use the kid? I don't know. But something's not right. Listen to the call. Like,
instead of going
fired. She hasn't been identified.
So I tried to stop off and got something to eat. And when I came out, instead of going to the left to the daycare because I got called and said I didn't have a case, I instantly said in my head, well, I'm done for the day and go home. I'm truly. I'm sorry it's not even enough to express how bad I feel. I'm so sorry for your family. I'm so sorry for your family. That was not my intention. I promise you I wouldn't have done it to your son.
This baby died in a car. He suffocated. He didn't have no help, no nothing. You got the child safety locks on the doors. You didn't think to look in the back seat?
That's another thing. Like, you got the child safety locks on the door. How do you forget so fast that you got a child while on the job? Because you got called saying that you don't have no more clients, but you still had a client in the back of your fucking car. How you forget that child? You don't have a mirror? You can't see a child laying down in the car? Passed out? Bullshit, man. Tell me that y'all telling me that when y'all in your car, y'all can't see a child in the back of your fucking car from that little mirror that's in the front of it? That shit that's in the damn window right there hanging? I forget what the hell it's called. I don't think the kid was sleeping. What I'm trying to say is that, you know, if the kid wasn't unconscious, you see where I'm coming from? Like, I don't know if he was sleeping or what, but either way, if the child is not sitting up, that you can notice him when you're coming back into a car, right? You see where I'm coming from? And he's laying down. Once you sit down in the car, and what's crazy, even when you're coming towards your car, you can see that there's a child in the back of your car, whether he's sitting up or laying down. And once you sit down, you got that mirror that shows you everything, the rear view mirror. That's what it's called. You're telling me you couldn't see that child there? Nah, bitch. Either you had a thing against the parents or you had a thing against this child. Or the child, you know, the trip with this child was driving you crazy and you just didn't give a fuck no more. So you was like, hey, fuck it. I'm going to just go in here, do this. He passed out. I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out. Because, listen, this could be anybody's child. But the crazy part about it is, this is why you shouldn't, right? Let your child get into a system. You shouldn't be neglectful. Once you have a child, right, your life is not your life no more. Now you got to share that life with this child, all right? You have a whole new responsibility on your shoulders. This is crazy.
No, ma'am, I did not.
French says the little boy was in the hot car from 12:30 to 5:30.
On this day, on the 22nd of July.
That's not 5 hours. Oh, yes, it is. 12:30 to 5:30. Yeah, it's 5 hours.
The heat index was about 100, between 108 and 109 degrees. That's outside of the car. KJ was 3 years old. He's verbal. In fact, he had the ability and knew how to unfasten the car seat. Mm-hmm. But what we discovered tragically is, although he could get out of the car seat, she had the childproof locks on the car. There was no way for him to get out of the car and to open the door.
We went to the employee's house. No one came to the door. I also...
Hold the fuck up. And there was a car seat in the back? Bitch, no. There's something more. She is hiding the truth. She's not telling the truth. That lady, this damn driver, this damn transporter is lying. You're telling me that you forgot that the child was in your car for 5 hours. Bullshit, yo.
So called her and left a voicemail. No response. Is there a possibility that KJ could have been dead well before 5:30?
Well, so one of the other important pieces of evidence that we're waiting for is the coroner's final report. And so there will be an autopsy, or there has been an autopsy performed.
That was
And
that would
so
tell
part
everything.
of the forensic pathologist's job is to actually to determine the cause of death, the manner of death, and the actual time of death.
This is crazy.
So today I spoke with State Representative Patrick Sellers. He wants to see this contracting company, Covenant Services Incorporated, held accountable. He is saying he wants to see another level of oversight, accountability, and transparency. So here's a list of the things that he would like to see. In an urgent call to action is what he's calling it. Sellers wants to see an investigation into the third-party company's internal policies, safety protocol. He has plans to lead legislative efforts in the next session to create penalties for individual negligence and systemic lapses. He wants to see mandated rigorous vetting, safety training, and a requirement for real-time tracking and checkpoints with transporting children under DHR care.
Requiring real-time tracking when there's transportation takes place, of GPS, check-in points, all of those kinds of things. If that would have been in place to where the transporter would have been able to check in or had to check in. So she transported the child from the daycare to see the father, the biological father. Then you're going to transport the child back to the daycare. So where's the checkpoint?
That's crazy. Gary says, I think the child passed about the 3rd to 4th hour in the car. And that's if the child passed out in the car when she wasn't there. What if she did something to the car? There's so many ways to suffocate a child and not leave evidence. What if she did it on purpose? What if she did? What if he did, suffocate in the car, right? Without her doing nothing, but it was done on purpose. Because 5 hours, bull, man, nah. She did this on purpose. On purpose, yo. This case is wild, and I feel as though we need to, how can I say, put these protocols, right? And the only way that this could happen is if we come together, right? Because on some real shit, which elected official will stop, right? We'll set up, right? How can I say? We'll step up, right, to champion the rights of children in state care rather than sidestep responsibility, right? And like the bull said, right, we need to mobilize survivors and affected families to endorse and campaign for candidates who commit to specific, accountable child protection reforms. All right. What would you do, right? What will you do today to ensure no other child becomes an unseen casualty? And I feel as though we need to organize, right? Heat check events in parking lots, volunteer patrol vehicles, check for unattended children, and distribute life-saving safety flyers, right? Those of you that are part of the solution will understand why I'm saying this and putting this out there, all right? Those of you that are not a part of the solution will make any excuse to say why this cannot happen or this won't happen. You see where I'm coming from? But there are so many ways that we can come together and get these legislators to do what they're doing. The system is not broken, but the people running the system within it is who is dividing us apart, and we're falling for it. All right. I've talked about this time after time after time. All right. And, listen, in closing, when it comes to, K. Torres, right? May he have peace in paradise. What's crazy is K. Torres, KJ Starks Jr., was a vibrant soul, not a footnote in a broken system. His death demands more than our sorrow. It demands systemic change. We must transform our anger into policy, our grief into action, and our voices into roar, all right? That disrupts complicity, all right? If we stay silent, we let this outrage become meaningless. So today, all right, I ask you to call your representatives, right? Plan community heat check patrols and volunteer with local child welfare watchdog groups, right? Let's honor KJ by refusing to let another child slip into silence and searing heat, Together, we will still build a system that protects every child as fiercely as we love them. All right. But that takes unity. All right. And the problem that we're having within our communities, right, is that they taught us how to share everything. All right, guys, man. I would like to hear y'all input when it comes to, this topic. Leave y'all comments down below and let's get the discussion started. All right. I've asked so many mind-provoking questions, man. Y'all can leave y'all answers down below. I want to give a big shout out to those that had a conversation, about this topic. I know it's touchy, all right, but it's needed. All right. So we're going to jump into the mothers having a meltdown over school supplies list, right? They're blaming teachers for basic supplies. Let me ask y'all a question, all right? Let me put it like this. In y'all communities, do y'all see mothers behaving like this? Like ratchet, out of pocket, blaming the system? I mean, growing up, I remember my mom buying me school supplies, right? And not just my mom, other people around me will also buy me school supplies, right? And what's crazy, my mom was one of the ones that will also give extra supplies to people, in the schools, right? She would go to the little drives and all that because they do have them, and she would donate, right? And she will also give away. And I was also, my whole life I had this social worker that used to work with LaSalle University. She's a friend of the family, right? And she's helped me a lot throughout the years, right? And she's also somebody that has done things like that. So, now this outrage that I see, I know everything's expensive, but I don't see too many moms out here, right, bitching and complaining about how much they got to pay for their child's school supplies and none of that. I mean, if anything, they say, damn, man, I got to work harder to make this bread, right, so that I can get my kids what I need. I've watched moms scramble at dollar stores, tossing pens, glue sticks, and notebooks into overflowing carts every year. We're told these basic supplies fall on our shoulders like unpaid tuition, and teachers are painted as the villain when our kids show up missing a binder. Like, that's crazy. It's time to shine a light on how we've left unfunded classrooms become a family expense and what we can do to flip the script. All right. And I feel as though that's something we need to do together. All right. I don't know why we expect, how can I say, the government to do everything. All right. What's crazy is, right, these damn flies. We got Miss V in the building. Blessings, Miss V. Damn, I'm stuttering again. I mean, it's time to smoke. Let me get off the camera. I might not stutter. Let me get off the camera real quick. All right. We got Miss V in the building. Blessings, Miss V. Welcome to the live, guys. Make sure y'all go check out NTGV Crime Podcast. All right. Great conversations, great topics, yo. And I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. I love the way she be breaking down her crimes, yo. Like, she really has a passion for that, yo. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Like, big shout out to Miss V, yo. Like, make sure y'all go check her out. Y'all will not be disappointed. But back on topic, all right? Mothers are hitting, right, peak stress over a few glue sticks and spiral notebooks, pointing fingers at teachers when basic school supplies somehow become our personal responsibility. We all nod when someone says, change is needed, right? But when it's time to organize a drive or a lobby, right? Let me put it like this. When it's time to organize a drive or lobby the school board, the chatter vanishes and chaos reigns. Why? Shout out to the parents who quietly do their best balancing budgets, carpool lines, and careers, all right? Without turning every supply list into a viral scandal. Shout out to the teachers who stretch every dollar to stock their classrooms, all right? Who stay late, right, cutting construction paper and lammering smiley faces and name tags, right, for these kids. But let's be real, all right? Complaints only rise after we've spent weekends sipping Tito's, Henny, and puffing hookahs, pretending we've had no obligations. We forgot the blueprint our ancestors left behind. Communities care, collective, uplift, mutual aid. That is what a community is based of, all right? If you're tired of talking and want real change, start small. Host a neighborhood swap meet for, backpacks and pencils. Email your local school board for member demand and transparent budgets. Volunteer 1 hour a week, stock in the classroom supply closet. All right? Our children deserve classrooms funded by our shared value, not padded by our personal wallets. Let's honor the legacy of communal responsibility and turn this meltdown into a moment. Like, who's with me? Like, it's too much complaint. Why is y'all complaining? All right? Was y'all complaining when y'all spent all that money on fucking Tito's and Hennessy? Was y'all complaining when y'all was buying fucking games and fucking Sweetwoods and Backwoods and all that fucking bud on the weekends and partying and getting tatted up, fucking eating crab legs and shrimps? Y'all wasn't complaining about none of that shit, and that shit cost. That shit fucking cost. Can you help me mod when you're not live? I got you. Just tag me on the videos when you come live. I got you. I got you, Ms. V. No problem. No problem. I got you. So, like, it's too many excuses for me, yo. Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie. We want change, right? It starts within us. All the answers that we're seeking, right, is within us. What happens when schools, underfunded basics and parents shoulders the cost? I feel as though, right, the solution, like I said, we need to organize a community supply swap or drive before a fall, right? So no family drowns in receipts. Why are teachers forced to spend their own money on crayons and chart paper? Like, can't we okay, let me put it like this. You need to petition your district to create a transparent teacher reimbursement fund, all right? And let's track every dollar. And what's crazy is, right, and I say that because I hear a lot of parents say that, why am I doing this? Why? Because I understand some parents, oh, well, we pay taxes, I'm only going to pay for my kids' supplies, and that's it, da-da-da-da. But at the end of the day, what's crazy? When your kid's supply runs out, right, and it takes you a little minute to get them some more supplies, what's holding your child down is the supplies that another parent puts in extra. All right, or the donations that other parents put in, right, to help the school system so that the kids could get educated. See, some people don't even turn around and flip the script and try to think of it another way. You see where I'm coming from? Like, that's why I love hearing people's input, all right, because I get to see different perspectives, and I get to see in the same process who got logic and who doesn't give a fuck. You see where I'm coming from? Like, how did bring your own supplies become the norm in public education? But it shouldn't be a problem, right? Because these schools, what y'all see, what y'all fail to realize, these schools are funded, all right? So in order for these schools to function, they have to have funds coming in, all right? And right now, look at what Trump is doing. He's taking and taking away, all right? According to him, right, doing this is going to help, us better our economy here in America, right? It's going to, people's wallets are going to look better. I don't know. To me, it's not seeming like that, but to others, it is. All right, but that's just my opinion. All right, and an opinion, listen, is like an asshole. Everyone has one. Like, what message does it send to children when they feel ashamed for not having the right markers? Come on, let's be real. Everybody want to follow a trend and buy something expensive for their kids. Like, come on, man, buy some simple fucking crayons. Stock these fucking classrooms up. We can come together by, listen, I was told the other day, Ray, why don't you close the block, right? And, bring the school supplies in and give them away. We used to do that, but too many parents were ungrateful and their kids following right behind them. Oh, that's cheap. I don't want that. Ooh, who cares about that? They're throwing shit away. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. That's a waste of money and a waste of time. So when I see more people coming in, whereas not a block captain has to pull all the money out their pocket, and, sacrifice what the hell they got going at home, then that's possible. You know how many people I've seen do things like this and people don't give a fuck? Let's be real. Y'all want change. But in reality, what y'all want is chaos to flaunt. Like, why can't the solution to, this be start a classroom supply closet stocked by volunteer contributions where kids pick what they need guilt-free? Whereas in people donate what they want. I mean, they kind of got that already, but what I mean is something a little different. We become a part of the schools. I'm about to start volunteering again on some real shit in the schools, my daughter's school, just so I could start doing shit like this. so that I could bring these ideas out. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. All right? That's another task in my plans. I mean, another goal in my plans that I feel as though I got to accomplish. I need to become a volunteer to show people, look, listen, this is how it's got to be. Y'all want to, instead of complaining, right, all right, I'm the only one putting in. Well, no, all of us puts in. All of us, not just one, all of us. Too much complaining. Either you want your child to get the education or not. And if you don't want that to happen, well, then your only other option is teach your child at home. Can you do that? Do you have time to educate your child at home and teach them everything from history to math to science to the, daily basics to what they need in life to, either build a career, right, or become their own boss? Can you do that? Let's check this out.
My kids need to succeed. You provide everything, okay? I'm not providing anything but the body, and I'm barely doing that. You better be glad I'm doing that. And then also, so I'm going to say this since no other parent is saying it, and I'm definitely qualified because I have 5 children. I have 2 sets of twins and a teenager. I'm a parent who does not buy school supplies.
The reason nobody's saying it is because the rest of us are buying our kids school supplies.
That's a fact. Yo, she got the balls, the audacity to come online and say, I am a parent who does not buy their kids school supplies. And you wonder why I'm coming online saying the things that I'm saying. We are the problem. It's us. Why there is no change within the urban community, why there's no change among us, black, brown, listen, there is not going to be a change until we get it together, because it starts within your own home. The answers you're seeking are inside of you. Man. But, me saying this, motherfucker's going to say, oh, you want some conspiracy theory. No, it's just that a lot of us have opened up our eyes. We grew the fuck up. We're maturing.
And apparently we're buying your kids school supplies too. Like, are we still debating this? The reason nobody's saying it is because the rest of us are buying our kids school supplies. And apparently we're buying your kids school supplies too.
Bro, shit.
Like, are we still debating this? It's 2025. I thought we were all in agreement that if these people are going to be watching our kids for 8 hours a day, we're going to buy them whatever they need. If my daughter's teacher needs gas money to get to the school so that she can teach my daughter, no, baby, meet me at the gas station and I will fill your car up.
I'm dead.
That's how much I don't play about these teachers and what they do for us and for our children. Like, not having the money to buy the extra school supplies, that's one thing. But just being on here to complain just to complain. Okay, look, I complain. When I'm in Target putting all the stuff in my car, I'm complaining as I'm doing it. But I'm doing it.
Right.
Complaining just makes me feel better in the moment, but I 1000% understand why they need what they need. Our children getting the most out of their education, it starts with us supporting the educator. So to all the teachers out there, we see you, we love you, we appreciate you, and may God bless you with a room full of parents.
I agree with you, but I'm not paying nobody's gas. All right. I agree with you with everything you said, but I'm not paying no one's gas. All right.
It's who buy the damn school supplies.
My kids' list got 4 boxes of Kleenexes. Imagine every single kid in the classroom of 20 bring 4 boxes of Kleenexes on top of the Lysol spray and wipes.
Ain't no way we on this app arguing about some fucking school supplies. Now this whole summer y'all been singing that Lotto song, Brokey, and now all of a sudden 4 Kleenex boxes, a pack of pens, a pack of pencils is a problem.
Why is that a problem? Shit, I don't mind putting in the extra supplies. Shit, that means that they're, how can I say, they how can I say? Oh my God, decontaminating the classroom. Shit, that means that my child don't gotta sit here and get sick behind your snotty child. All right, let's be real. I don't have a problem with sending the extra supplies. I don't want my child sick. Like on some real shit. Last year, listen, when my child was in school, I was fucking complaining all the time. She kept coming. I'm like, man, we sending all these extra supplies. What's going on? Oh, we learned a lot of parents don't send it. So the extra supplies are, to help out because their kids in there, their parents send them to school with nothing. No notebooks, no tissue, no nothing. So if it means, for me to send a few extra things to school and help out in order for my child not to be sick, fuck yeah, I'm gonna do it. And even with sending that, right? Kids still come home sick because they gotta sit here and play around with your snotty, sick ass child that you don't take to the doctors, that you don't take care of.
And let's not forget when y'all had that Don Julio bottles on y'all head. Talking about some Don
shit.
Should have been buying some Don dish soap for your kids. And then y'all like, well, they want 4 packs of pens, and I'm just gonna buy 1 pack for my son and my daughter because these teachers, they keeping the pens, they keeping the extra supplies. They're teachers. What the fuck are they supposed to do with the supplies? What do y'all think they're doing with these supplies? They're taking it home, running a sweatshop, selling these pens out their back door? I can already see it. These parent-teacher conferences finna be crazy this year.
That's if they even show up, because unless somebody's tossing free bundles and wigs at their heads, good luck getting any parental participation. Yeah, it's that time of year again. After hot girl summer, blowing thousands on weave, vacations, hookah, concerts, and dinners, they're settling all over social media, complaining about a school supply list. Mad at teachers for asking for, quote, too much. Talking about my son don't need no tissue or disinfectant spray. Like, girl, quit playing. Your crump snatcher sons and daughters absolutely need the tissue and the Lysol. Complaining about a box of crayons and markers when you have no issue dropping money on eyelashes and baby hairs.
I just said the same shit. Where was it? In Texas, where a whole brawl went down over fucking wigs at a wig store or some shit like that? I haven't, listen, somebody sent me the video. I was supposed to touch on it, and I haven't been able to. I'm dead serious. But, let me ask you a deep, mind-provoking question. Why do we treat public education like a subscription service, only supporting it when it's convenient? Huh? Like, what would happen if we build a year-round parent-teacher coalition, right, that meets monthly to address fundings? Like, we address the funding gaps, right, not just during back-to-school season. What would happen if we do that? How did we normalize blaming teachers for systemic failures while ignoring the politicians who write the budgets? How did it get to that? Right? Like, can we create a public score? How can I say? Can we create a public scorecard, right, that tracks local officials' votes, right, on school funding and share it widely before elections so that we can see what's really going on with the funds, whether they're being put into, right, and much more. That's why I say, look, listen, for this to work, we need to have these conversations, right? Like, we're not here to bash or nobody, bring nobody down. Like I told y'all, we're here for improvement. All right, we're here to improve. A better us, a better you. A better you, a better us. A better us, a better world, all right? Like, let's really get it together. What does it say about us when we'll drop $200 on a weekend, turn up, but complain about a $40 supply list? Listen to what I just said. What does it say about us when we'll drop $200? I'm gonna say when people drop $200 on a weekend just to turn up, but we'll complain about a $40 supply list for their kids and to buy their uniforms, even though the uniform is not gonna cost $40, but people still complain. Like, I feel as though, what if y'all, launch a party with purpose campaign, host a community events where entry includes donating school supplies or funds? Y'all would do it, to sit here and do other things, which I'm not going to talk about here, but y'all get my point. Why are we more outraged by a missing pencil than by the fact that some schools don't have working heat or clean water, my bad? Like, why can't we organize a real needs, real talk forum where parents and teachers expose the deeper infrastructure issues behind the supply list drama? When did we forget, right, that education is a form of liberation and not our ancestors, and that our ancestors fought for access? We now take for granted. That's what we're doing, taking it for granted. Can we integrate ancestral storytelling into school events, reminding families of the sacrifices made for our children's right to learn? Come on, y'all. Like, there's so many solutions out here. And I'm not just asking questions, right? I'm giving solutions. I'm putting solutions on the table. It's up to y'all what y'all decide to do. All right? Because I'm not just doing this online. I'm also putting in the footwork out here. I do engage with these politicians. You see where I'm coming from? I got a personal life, and my personal life comes first. My kids come first. My family comes first, right? And then I'm able to help those that are around me. You see where I'm coming from? And this is how all of us should do it. Shout out to them elders that instilled what they instilled in me. Because we missing this. We're missing that old school technique that we forgot that's left in that blueprint. We got Uncle L in the building. Big shout out to Uncle L. Blessings, blessings. Good morning, Uncle L. How you doing?
That's crazy work. It's giving broke with priorities completely out of order. If you can't afford school supplies, like the first lady in that clip, why are you even laid up having kids anyway? I don't get it. It's always the brokest ones who don't have no money and can't even take care of themselves, stay pushing out babies from men they claim they don't want or who clearly don't want them. Then on top of that, they have the nerve to blame the teacher, like the teacher made the baby. Let's be real. If the pandemic taught us anything, it's that these flamingos hate their own kids. Don't let them fool you. They were losing.
This is why we don't need to be out there just popping babies like we're factories as women on some real shit. Some women do it to hold a man. Some women do it because they don't believe in abortion like I don't. You see where I'm coming from? But I'm not popping babies to every man. See, I only got 2 baby daddies. One is deceased and one is active in both my kids' lives. I mean, all 3 of my kids' lives. 2 are not his and 1 is his. Like, you see where I'm coming from? Like, he's my fiance and everything. So, I mean, there's so many reasons why we got so many single moms out here. But the thing is, right, we're making too many excuses on why we can't, how can I say, come up in life. The problem that we're having is that we can't stop hating on each other. And we say that only the white man has hate. So what is the problem with us, amongst us, within our communities?
Losing their minds when forced to be a real active parent when all the schools shut down. Don't think we forgot. So y'all better stop playing with these teachers before they all quit and leave you at home to raise your own bad behind bastards.
What the shit make you think your kid don't use the fucking tissues at school? Like, that shit don't make sense. Y'all don't hear complaining about school supplies. Oh, my son don't need fucking wipes, and why am I buying markers for that? They need them. What the fuck you go send them up to school without all that shit? Y'all always complain. Listen.
What's crazy is they don't just need them for school. They need them for home, too. How they going to get... My bad. How they going to get their homework done? Yo, what are some of these parents thinking? And I'm not going to say all parents, because not all parents is doing this. This is just some parents out here. And what's crazy is, man, if we don't do these lives, listen, we cannot detach the bad apples away from the good apples. And y'all wondering why we got so many bad apples out here. That's because we're, putting the bad apples with the good apples, and we're letting the bad apples rot in the good apples. What do you think is going to happen? I hope breaking it down like that, some people will understand what I'm trying to say. Y'all want change? Guess what? We got to work for it. It's not just going to come easily handed to us. And in the process, we got to learn how to live, love, and laugh. The fuck is wrong with some people, yo?
I'm going to get on here complaining. But y'all complaining about the wrong.
Exactly.
Send your kids to fucking school so they can fucking learn something. That's y'all problem. How the fuck is you complaining about fucking tissue? Tissue, bro. Tissue. Bro, y'all is out here buying cut waters every weekend. Them is $13 for a pack of 4. What the?
You just are complaining about having to buy school supplies for the kids that you decided to have? Cheap.
Damn. Yes. Yes. For the kids that you decided to have. Shout out to this one. Yes. Let's see. Oh, listen. I'm sorry. I had to pause it real quick, man. Because she is speaking facts. You decided to have these kids with or without a father in their life. You wanted this child for whatever the reason was, whether because you cared or because you wanted to gain something out of the system or from the baby daddy. Let's be real. That's the era that we fucking living in. But it's believe all women, they say. Right? Shout out to the real women out there. And yes, there's a difference. The problem that we're having is that we're fucking putting all women in the same motherfucking category when it shouldn't be like that. The same way that we're putting all men in the same fucking category when it shouldn't be like that.
You just are complaining about having to buy school supplies for the kids that you decided to have? Cheap. You just are cheap.
Real
You would have thought the supplies was like 50 bands or something. Mind you, you just stay high, stay with them, Julio. Yeah, buy school supplies and stop being above that. And when there's no more fucking teachers left in the world because y'all keep fucking bullying these teachers over some fucking school supplies you had to buy for somebody else's kids to share, make sure your ass hop in front of that fucking classroom and you teach your own kids your fucking self, because it's about to be no more teachers left in this classroom thanks to y'all fucking selfish ass parents. Y'all so fucking quick to share men, but y'all can't share school supplies with other kids.
Listen, real shit. They so quick to share men, but they can't share school supplies with their kids, yo. And it's not all women. It is not all women, all right? It's not all women.
That school supply list max costs about $25. A lot of kids and parents can't afford to buy their children school supplies.
Well, I'm not gonna sit here and lie. My kids supply list, my daughter's supply list, with her supplies, it would have been $25, right, for what she needs alone. But since we gotta, buy the extra supplies so the other kids can have, it comes out to almost $40, $50. You see where I'm coming from? So I mean, the supplies ain't cheap either. They went up. Like, we ain't no more, 50-cent books and dollar books or 75-cent books. They're $1 and up now. All right. Like the crayons ain't no more $1. They're like $2 now, $2 something. $1.50 is the cheapest. So those are ones you would aim for. You see where I'm coming from? Like, we gotta be realistic. We gotta really sit here and analyze the things that we're doing and the shit that comes out of our mouth when we come on social media. Some people don't even realize how they make themselves look on some real shit, yo. Yes. You said thank you. I appreciate you. You're welcome. I'm not sure for what, but you're welcome. And listen, Ms. V, I don't have a problem. How can I say? Rocking out with you, man. I fucks with Ms. V, yo. I really love Ms. V, yo. And I'm not sure why you say thank you, but you're welcome though. And yes, these people is pathetic, yo. Oh, for modding. Okay, I was a little lost. I was like, wait, did I say something? Like, did I do something? Okay, facts. I appreciate you too, Ms. V. I'm definitely, I don't have a problem doing that, man. Like, it's too many trolls in our John. Like, we got too many trolls in this John, so I get it, man. And they do take us, they distract us for a few seconds away from what we're doing, especially when our content, right? Our content revolves around us asking our subscribers questions. People don't realize that when it comes to our channels, our subscribers make our channels. You see where I'm coming from? And that's why I got a tendency of telling people, man, if you're not a part of the solution, this channel is not for you. All right, because we're here for improvement. All right, and if you don't want improvement within your life or the things around you, this is not where you should be. They got beef channels, they got drama, they got all that shit. All right, I'm a read you a little passage, right, that everybody likes around me that it's part of a poem. I got to put it together with that poem that y'all heard earlier. It actually goes with that. So I'm going to put it behind the beat and put the verses together. All right. So what's crazy is how I hear people say, right? They say, don't bring the drama. Keep it all light, right? But every night I'm fighting these demons in sight. Whispers in my mind, yeah. They also echo and shout. While I'm smiling on the surface, I'm breaking without. Right? We're sharing the laughter, but what's underneath? A battlefield of sorrow, a war with no peace. We're warriors in silence, but nobody knows how the pain that we carry just grows and it grows. Because sometimes we come on here, and I know that the first thought that a lot of content creators that are on here bringing awareness, trying to, how can I say, do the things that we're doing here on social media, right? It's like, what's the point sometimes? Nobody even cares. But then you see and you sit down and you analyze, like, there are people out here that care. So fuck the ones that don't give up, that don't care, that misunderstand, that don't want change. They say they want change, but in reality they want chaos to flood. Man, y'all know what y'all could do? Listen, I surely got a message for all of y'all out there. Listen, all right, this is what the fuck y'all could do. And I bite my fingers, so no. They grow fast as shit. By tomorrow I'm gonna have a fingernail. But shit, today I bit the shit out these, all right, while I was writing and researching all that shit because, listen, people threw me these 2 videos are one of the most videos that got sent to me last night. So, yeah, I was like, look, listen, let's talk about it. Let's see what's really going on. Let's see if people is really, really down for the solutions, all right? So let's have these lives. Like, sometimes I open up the panel. It's not the weekend yet. Friday, I'll open up the panel on some real shit, and I let people come up and express themselves. You see where I'm coming from? As long as we're not bashing and bringing nobody down, let's have conversations that can build nations on some real shit. All right? I just don't got time for the motherfuckers out here to say, oh, I'm tired of this. Why can't we talk about something else? Motherfucker, this is our channel. This is our platform. This is our piece. This is what we want to bring awareness to today. You see where I'm coming from? And if you don't want to hear it, go somewhere else. Because maybe you've heard it, but someone else hasn't. All right? Like yesterday when I brought up the O.J. Simpson and the Nicole Simpson case, right? A lot of people was talking shit. Oh, I'm tired of hearing this. Oh, you're just another person with an opinion. And why the fuck is you here? Something I'm saying must be drawing your attention, because other than that, you wouldn't be here. You see where I'm coming from? And like I tell people, I bring these I do these lives, right, to bring awareness, to bring solutions to the table. And if you're not a part of the solution, you don't gotta be here. And I don't give a fuck how my reaction back to you comes on some real shit at that second, because it's in that second, in that moment, I'm gonna say what I gotta say and keep it pushing. You see where I'm coming from? You win only if I give in and if I get mad. You see where I'm coming from? People need to understand these trolls only win when you, the content creator, gives in. When you start getting mad and you start acting crazy and you get out of character. And what I mean by that is when you let someone knock you off your inches and now you are somebody that, you're completely not. You're a whole new person now. You see where I'm coming from? We cannot give in. So at the end of the day, like I tell people, I don't mind being goofy. I don't mind joking around. You see, I'm a goofy person. I'm goofy as shit. I'm not a roaster, but I like joking around. But I'm serious, and I'm serious all fucking day. All right, so when I come on these platforms, I like watching people like Miss NTGV, right? She does her little crime podcasts, right? She breaks them down, right? She asks questions. And what's crazy is, right? She asks mind-provoking questions, and that will get people mad. But see, we're not asking mind-provoking questions, right, to get someone mad. We're asking these questions so that I can sit here and poke around your head to get a different point of view, a better understanding. Okay, am I the only one thinking like this? Is someone else thinking differently? And if you're thinking differently, what is your solution? Like, would it, help out? You see where I'm coming from? Like, now, I'm not trying to keep hearing, oh, we can't do this. This can't happen. Oh, you lying. Listen. It's not my fault. It's not my fault you feel some type of way and you on this bitch deflecting, hiding behind the keyboard, all right, trying to piss somebody else off because you miserable. You see where I'm coming from? That's how we got to be. This is how we got to think. Listen, we know that there's bad out there in the world. That's why I say motherfuckers just don't understand. Some of us be fighting our own demons too. And they be so fucking loud that you don't understand that if I let the voices out of my head, you would hate me forever. Sometimes it's all about emotions. And people got to stop coming on this John with their emotions, especially if you want to be a part of the solution. There's parts on YouTube. Listen, YouTube is a big platform. All right. I love being entertained. And when I get entertained, I go to the sections where I get entertained. Where I'm coming from? Bye, bitch. Bye, bitch. Oh, we got a bitchy bitch in the fucking chat right now. Bye, bitch. You see what I'm saying? Damn. That's what we got out here. Trolls. Got nothing better to do. You see where I'm coming from? Nothing better to do than to come on people's channels and try to get them out of character. You see what I'm saying? We got another bitch. That's all. Another bitch and lost in the matrix, lost in his webs. It's okay. We understand mental health is serious. That's why we got these panels. Y'all can either listen or keep it the fuck pushing. And for y'all men out here and for y'all women, listen, all of us women are not the same. All right. We got some of us that are women. that are real women. Then you got the ladies, right, that are still considered under the category of women, right? Then you got the bitches and the hoes and the thots and the slots, right? And the little girls and women's bodies, which I call Lilith in disguise, right? You got all those. We're not all under the same category, all right? Right now we got little Tatianas bouncing on panels mad as shit right now. They don't like the fact that, you know, somebody is saying, hey, let's come together. Let's help our children. See, this is the bitch that was on the weekend paying, $200 to get high, right? Probably, oh, my bad, I did it the wrong way, right? Off some nigga that she doesn't fucking know, right? Fucked up, neglecting her child while her child is out here in these streets, probably selling drugs, getting into fights, lashing out. See? While she's on social media, probably, smoking some Mary Jane, hitting that line, probably trying some of them new drugs with that Tito in one hand and Henny in the other. My milkshake brings all the what? To the yard. That's how she is. Like, if that shit draw attention. Ladies, listen, y'all bitches don't realize yet. Motherfuckers don't like y'all. Y'all ain't shit. Y'all is just a hit it and quit it. That's why y'all called bitches. Y'all get on all fours for a man to come and splat that shit in there, zip his pants up, and keep it pushing. Now, let's get back on topic, all right? Let's get back on the video. We had our little entertainment on today's serious topic. Yo! Shout out to Miss V, yo, but shout out to Miss V. But Shorty right here is speaking some facts, yo. And that's what these ladies hate. That's what these bitches that come on our chats hate. You see where I'm coming from?
That school supply list max costs about $25. A lot of kids and parents can't afford to buy their children school supplies.
Nah, that's a personal problem. Every child should be sent to school with their supplies. It should be a requirement, including the supplies that they all stash together and they all use out the same pot. They all have to contribute. Listen, first of all, your kids are in public school anyway, so you didn't even have to pay for them to be there. All the taxpayers in the community are the ones contributing to your children's education already. Yeah, the whole community, specifically the property owners, they're the ones contributing to your child's education. While you're not even paying property taxes, you're getting child rebates or refund checks and won't even invest that child tax credit back into your own children. Instead, you're using it on nonsense and stuff for yourself that you don't even need and can't even afford. So no, I don't want to hear it. If you can afford weave, nails, and alcohol, you can afford to buy pencils, pens, and crayons. Nah, don't nobody want to hear that.
And y'all wonder why teachers are fucking quitting? Y'all realize that a lot of teachers want to quit every single day, but the only reason why they don't quit is because they actually give a fuck about our kids. Teachers already don't get paid shit to begin with. I don't buy school supplies to share with other kids. Do you hear how stupid and fucking selfish y'all sound?
No, they don't. They don't hear how stupid and selfish they sound at all. Because some people, right, it's all about them. The problem ain't mine. It doesn't involve mine. So it ain't my problem. It ain't my business. I don't give a fuck until the devil comes knocking at their door. That's when, it should be our problem, right? Like, for example, we were talking about the three-year-old little boy that, the social worker neglected and he passed away, right? I've heard, how many times I heard somebody, talk shit. Oh, why should I worry about this? I ain't bringing no one worrying. I'm not talking about this. Why y'all so worried about this? It ain't your child. Y'all need to stop worrying about this shit. That's the problem. I'm sitting here like, is you serious? But what if the scripts were flipped? What if this was your child? You see where I'm coming from? That's the issue that we're having. Y'all keep forgetting, man, you can climb up that ladder, but the same way you go up that ladder, motherfucker, you coming down. You are coming down. Don't keep thinking that, man, see the problem with y'all forget y'all cheat to come up that ladder. All right? There's no more real love in this world. Too many fucking mothers out here. We've lost real queens and real kings to social media. So shout out to the real ones that are left, because there's not a lot left.
Say with hearts unplanned, no longer pawns in their game of charade. Let's find our own path and not be swayed. I feel like I'm surrounded with people with strings attached to their back, waiting for their master's command. It's like when I was little, right, and I was reading Pinocchio. Every time that he told a lie, his nose grew. It's just that, you know, in real life, their noses don't grow. Karma just catches.
And that's some real shit. And that's what we're having. Like, why are people more outraged by a missing pencil than by the fact that some schools don't have working heat or clean water? All right. When did we forget that education is a form of liberation and that our ancestors fought for access we now take for granted? All right. Why do we expect teachers to be educators, therapists, fundraisers, and babysitters without giving them the tools to succeed? All right. Our taxes are supposed to go into these schools so that these schools, right, can pay, so that the funds could pay for the curriculum that's being taught to our kids, to pay these teachers, all right? All I know is, right, coming up, my parents bought me my school supplies. And this is something that's been going on for years, all right? When did that cycle break? I don't know. And I feel as though it was our generation. Not so as much the generation before us, more ours. All right. So I feel as though, right, we need to advocate for a teacher support bill, right, in your district, right? I'm gonna put it like this, you, because I keep saying we and I don't know why. All right. In your district that guarantees mental health resources, supplies, right, stipends, and classroom aids. What kind of future are we building if our kids, right, learn that complaining gets more attention than contributing? All right. We need to start a youth-led supply justice initiative, right, where students help organize drives and speak out about their classroom needs. But see, that's a solution that I'm putting out there. I would love to hear what y'all got.
These are children. It's a fucking box of pencils that may cost you at max $1.50 at Walmart. A teacher's budget is crazy. A lot of that they have to pay for out their fucking pocket. So if you have to buy an extra sanitizer for the class, who the cares? I have watched parents in classrooms cuss a fucking teacher out, all because the fucking teacher asked their child to put their cell phone away in class. Oh, I bought my child's cell phone. They could be on it. What? You couldn't pay me to be a teacher. There is no amount of money in the world that you can pay me to be a mother teacher these days. All that.
Right. It's a thankless job. Not only do we have to put up with the kids not being raised right at home and have to manage all that chaos 30 times over, but you also have to deal with their parents. And let me tell you, the parents are the worst because all the problems you see in those kids, that's where they got it from.
If these teachers decide to say f this and f y'all kids, a lot of y'all gonna be in motherfucking trouble. For somebody that's gonna have my kid, which is like a second parent, because I'm not there, almost 7-8 hours out the motherfucking day. Girl, you can get whatever, he or she, you can get whatever you want from me. You bitches is complaining about supporting these teachers because of the least they send home. But you gonna go over there and support that same sorry nigga that ain't did for you all year. But lay up in your shit, eat your food, dry your car, tear up your motherfucking car. Don't put no gas in your car. Have ride around in your car. Have his friends ride around in your car. He made no money in your car. Y'all up here complaining about motherfucking school supplies. Like, you gotta get a grip. The same motherfucking village that y'all sit up here and complain that y'all don't have, when it's time to pitch in, it's a motherfucking problem.
Bars.
That's because all they want to do is take, which is exactly why you can't build anything with them. They only take and destroy. Super selfish and irresponsible to the core.
That's a fact. And that's why when they asked me if I could do that this year, I said no. Because I learned from the year before and the year before. Y'all gonna start coming out of the pocket and y'all gonna start helping, and we either, you with it or you not. You get the fuck out my face with the complaints. I don't want to hear that shit. Either you put in or you get the fuck out. It's simple as that. Because we're a community. We're supposed to be a village. It ain't just give, y'all take. It ain't us give, and y'all take, and what? Nothing. Like, listen, when we have block parties, we got to clean. When we do these drives and we do the block parties along with the drives, you still got to clean behind. And what's crazy is y'all ask for these things, right? And then come and complain about the things that are being donated. People are coming out of pocket. So what's crazy is, right, we notice this on every like drive that we go to or we do, right? We've done, because we haven't done one since last year. Motherfuckers will sit here and they'll go for the things that they see that are, more expensive and leave the things, oh no, that's cheap. That came from like a dollar store or a Walmart. I don't want that. I'm looking at motherfuckers like, is you serious? Oh, that ain't name brand. I'm not buying that for my child. I mean, I'm not getting that for my child. But beggars can't be choosers. Y'all forget? Something is wrong in this society, like on some real shit. And I feel as though it's more of a mental health. You see where I'm coming from? That's why y'all hear me, ask the questions that I ask about mental health, right? And I would love to, for more people to comment and leave their opinions, their input, right? Let's get these discussions started so that I could try this, in my community, right? I could bring this out and be like, look, listen, I'm not the only one that's saying the same thing. Because believe it or not, guess what? These politicians, these legislators and all that, they got people in place that, see these social medias. And you could show them to them too. You like, what's crazy as shit? Like, y'all, listen. People need to really go out there and start doing some research, on how they can better themselves and better the things around their communities. And first you have to start with yourself before you can even try to help anybody within, your circle or around you.
They only take and destroy. Super selfish and irresponsible to the core. If they were actually doing what they were supposed to do for their own child, they wouldn't even be online complaining and begging for a village to raise the kid they laid down and made in the first place.
And all this woofing and huffing and motherfucking puffing about school supplies. Homeschool them then. Teach them at home. I guarantee you're going to wish you would have bought them 4 boxes of Kleenex. Fuck 4 fucking bottles of hand sanitizer. Y'all got me upset.
You can always tell when it's back to school time here in the United States because you get a certain type of parent that comes on the internet to complain about their child's school supply list. So I see why there is a teacher shortage, because if what I'm seeing on this app is the same parent that shows up to the school, I can only imagine the behavior your children exhibit at school.
Exactly. We all know where they get the bad, disrespectful behavior from.
Getting on this app trying to shame a underpaid teacher for a school supply list that she deems necessary in order for her to successfully educate your children is crazy. Mind you, y'all probably some of the same parents that will go buy your children $300 pair of sneakers and a $200 backpack, and they're illiterate.
Real shit.
Will wear those same $300 sneakers to a free school supply giveaway, taking away from a child who really is in need, but yet has the audacity to get on the internet and complain about a school supply list. And your children are illiterate. I see why teachers are leaving the schoolroom to protect their peace and sometimes their lives, because some of you parents and your children are very violent and disrespectful. Couldn't be me. So to the teachers going into the 2025-2026 school year, God bless you and good luck.
I am genuinely confused. Matter of fact, I am mind blown around this whole topic around school supplies. When did school supplies become an issue? Because did y'all parents not send y'all to school with school supplies? Like, I thought that was just like kind of like what you did as a parent. You sent your kid to school with a pack of pencils, paper, and folders. Like, I'm confused, and it's been like that ever since. At least since I was a kid, my mom always sent me to school with school supplies. Other kids that I went to school with, they came to school. Like, I am confused. Where did we stray? So I've heard a couple different videos about the topic, and I've heard the side of, I don't want to buy school supplies for the other children. I just want to buy school supplies for my child to use, right? It's not my duty to make sure that other kids have what they need or the classroom has what it needs. So there's that side. And then there's, I heard this lady say that she ain't buying jack shit for her kids, no school supplies, but I guarantee you she's sending her kid back to school with some $100 plus shoes, probably a couple pair, But school supplies is where you draw the line. Like, come on, she's not sending them to school with no school supplies, which is kind of crazy to me. It ain't kind of. That's wild. That is wild as fuck. You got parent over here that's saying, I'm not buying for the classroom. I want to buy for my kid and my kid only. And then you have this parent over here that's saying, well, I'm not buying my kid nothing, let alone somebody else's kid. I'm sending my kid to school with nothing.
That's how it be.
So who's going to make sure that this kid right here has what it needs in school to succeed?
It should be the parent's responsibility, but the parent is looking for someone to take their responsibility. You know, I mean, listen, let's be real, man. She's speaking facts, yo. Like, schools don't sell extra in the paper anymore. What? Wait, you confused me, OG. Schools don't sell the extras in the paper anymore? What's that? All right, while I wait for my OG to reply back, right? Let me just say this. Not buying your kids school supplies is whack. That's some real shit, OG. That's some real shit. But what's crazy, right? Everybody's online crying over school supplies list. Like, it's a personal attack. But let's be real. Some of y'all dropped $300 on a weekend of hookah, Henny, and designer fits. They turned around and complained about buying pencils for your kid. Like, we gotta make this shit make sense, y'all. Like, like the lady say, I'm not gonna say we. I keep saying we. Like, people are so shot out. When did we stray from the blueprint? Our ancestors fought for education with blood, sweat, and prayer. They built schools with their bare hands, taught lessons by candlelight. Like, come on, right? And passed down knowledge like sacred scriptures. Now we're out here acting like a $10 pack of markers is oppression. Yes, it was cheaper back then, but shit, everything went up. Like, come on, man. This isn't about the teachers. It's about accountability. It's about priorities. It's about how we've let convenience and clout replace community and care. You want change? Cool. But change don't come from tweets and tantrums. It comes from showing up, giving back, and remembering who we are. So shout out to the parents who grind in silence, who make it happen without the drama. Shout out to the teachers who stretch every dollar and still show up with love. The rest of y'all, if you can fund your lifestyle, you can fund your child's learning, period. Period. What's crazy is that we didn't just forget the blueprint. We burned it for likes, for retweets, for clout, for pennies. It's time to rebuild.
If this parent is like, that's not my problem, and this parent is like, that's not my problem, then who does that fall on? It falls on the school or the teacher, the underpaid teacher. But you know what? Thank God there are parents like me who send their kids to school with extra packs of pencils and extra packs of paper, extra folders, extra erasers. Because if not, this kid over here would not have what it needs to succeed. Think about it. There are 20 to 25 kids in each classroom, right? On average, right? At least in my daughter's school, 20 to 25 kids in each classroom, maybe more.
All right, she's not wrong. She is not wrong. So let me give a little insight in this. All right, it depends. It depends where the school is at. All right, there are at least 20 to 25 kids. Some classrooms have a total of 30 kids. All right, some classrooms have a total of 15 kids. Then let's not forget about the classrooms with special ed kids, all right? They have a total of 10 kids and under, all right? It's crazy as shit. That's how it is, all right? But there are classrooms now that have a total of 30 kids in the classroom. 30. And that's how many one teacher has to deal with. And that's why, listen, y'all know me. When I came on here, I came out exposing teachers. But I never fail to give a shout out and they props to the teachers that deserve that shit, that deserve their roses. Because we do got some good ass teachers out here. So we got some fucked up teachers that I feel as though that if we had a background system that worked, when these teachers got hired. More than that, like, listen, I've done lives on it. All right, I'm not gonna sit here and try to think of so many ways. But listen, that's for another live. About to distract myself again. Back on point. Like, it's too much going on. So we do got bad and good teachers, right? But it's crazy is we do got more good teachers than the bad. The problem is that we give shine to the bad teachers and we don't give no light to the good teachers. We leave them in the dark, lingering, not realizing that they deserve some props. They deserve some, how can I say, for the world to know that they're doing what they gotta do. All right. Some of these teachers do, pull money out their pocket and help these kids out here that don't have nothing. Help them. There's sometimes teachers out here, right, that look to the side the fact that these kids are bad as shit. Some of them have laid hands on them, and they still pull money out their fucking pocket to help them out. Still try to get them the resources they need and into the right track. And parents, where they at? Some of them say, I don't got time. Some of them are saying, I'm working 2 to 3 jobs. Okay. There's other parents that are doing the same shit and still got time. They still pull time. They make time for their kids. Why are you making excuses? What's more important than the child that you brought into this world? What's more important? Let's be real, man. And what's crazy is, man, I was having a conversation with somebody and they brought this to my attention the other day, right? And we was talking about kids' bad behavior, and it's the second or third person that bring this up, but I barely hear a lot of people say this, but like I've already heard 3 people say this so far, right? And it got me thinking, and I'm still in my head, like I'm like, damn, what rabbit hole do I go down to try to figure this out, to research this if it's true or not? Like, but I got common sense, right? And I'm a little, the person makes a point, because we're in America, right? When you look at third world countries, right? When you go, look at countries outside of America, right? Men raise their kids, right? And they're the head of the household, right? Along with the women, right? But what's crazy is, right, the men are looked at and treated different in these countries, right? But when you look at America, right, it's crazy as shit, right? As it sounds, right? When it comes to America, right, the fathers don't really have a say-so. The men that are fathers, they don't have a say-so in their kids' life. You see where I'm coming from? It was crazy. I don't think it was meant to be like that. I think that, all right, listen, people say the system is broken. No, it's not. Go look up your laws, your amendments, and all this shit. It's not really meant to be like that. It's the people within the system that are making the system look broken. You see where I'm coming from? What does the system consist of? Now let me say this, what the person was telling me, all right? In America, the mothers are the ones that really raise the child. When a father raises the child is when he has legal custody of the child or he's able to co-parent with the mother. But in reality, right, the majority of the times it's the mother raising this child, whether she's single or she's co-parenting by, a judge's order or something like that, right? Because, shout out to the parents out there that are co-parenting and doing their thing. But what's crazy is these mothers out here, right, they make it impossible for the father to really be a part of their kid's life. And when the father is there, they don't let the father, listen, let me put it like this. I know y'all have heard women come online, and I've heard this offline, which has got me like, wait, if he's the father, why are you saying that he's babysitting or he's obligated to babysit? He's the father. He should be taking care of his child regardless. If you're going to work, well, now it's his time to take care of the child. Babysitting. You see where I'm coming from? Or, I got to know when you do this with wait, he's the father. Okay, babe, listen, I left with the child. When you come home, you might not find us. We went out shopping. We doing this. Yes, as parents, y'all got to communicate with each other. Hey, babe, look, listen, I'm planning on taking a trip, right? I want a trip by myself. I wanted to do a boys' night, but instead I'm going to take my son. You see where I'm coming from? And I've seen plenty of dads do stuff like that, right? I've seen plenty of families do that. But we give so much shine to the toxic side of relationships, right, that we don't ever talk about the good things that do happen in relationships, right? The positive things that do happen in relationships and in parenting. All right? that we got these bad kids out here thinking that it's okay. You know how many times my child has come to me and been like, well, mom, you don't let me do this. It's not okay to do this, but their mom let them do this. That's their fucking mom. They don't love their child. I love you. I care about you. All right? And if you get mad at me sometimes for what I'm saying or what I'm telling you to do or what I'm doing or I'm taking from you, then I'm doing my job. You got two options. Stay mad, get them mad. But out this house, you're not leaving. Shoot, like, we got to get it together, yo. I've learned. Listen, I've made my mistakes with my first child. All right? Like, listen, I've had people get in, butt in, try to interfere with the relationship I had with my child, right? To the point where they had my child that was autistic confused. Guess where he's at? Here with his mama. He apologized to his mama and said he was wrong. Like, I should have never did this. I should have listened to you. I know. And I gave you your space and your time and you came back. And I knew deep down inside you was going to come back. You see where I'm coming from? Because I know my child. I know what I'm raising my child to be. All right? So that when I'm not here and he bumps them walls, let me put it like this. I got 2 boys and a daughter. They're able to pick themselves up. All right? But we're failing our kids. We're worrying more about party. I'm going to say parents are failing their kids, worrying more about partying. All right? Than sitting here and buying the necessary things for their kids. You know how many times, right, I have told my kids, listen, y'all going to eat. Y'all going to eat in here. I'm not ordering out. I'm not doing shit. See where I'm coming from? Yeah, to the point they got used to it. All right? Because there was a point in time where I was working a lot and I had to sit here and times I couldn't cook and I was getting used to ordering them out. No. That's why I'm grateful for my fiance. He does his part. He may not be here all day, but when he's here, he does what he's got to do. All right? So we need to get it together as parents. How can we worry more about, doing these stupid ass things out here than what our kids need? All right? What kind of future are we building if our kids learn that complaining gets more attention than contributing? All right? Why do we shame parents who struggle but stay silent when systems fail entire communities? And what I mean by that, the people within the system. All right? Can we create a judgment-free resource hub where families can access supplies, support, and solidarity, right? No questions asked. The same way they got a safe space, right, for us warriors that have survived some type of sexual abuse, and stuff like that in the LGBT community. Can there be a safe space for this type of situation for parents and, children that go through this? How can we demand excellence, right? Going back to that, right? And I say that because parents nowadays are more worried about their kids dressing with name brands, right, than worrying about what the kid actually likes. Some of these kids actually like these little cartoon characters on their shirts instead of these designer brands that y'all buying them, okay? How can we demand excellence from schools when we won't even show up to a PTA meeting? Too many parents out here making the excuse, I don't got time, I can't make it. We need to rebrand parents and engagement, make meeting accessible, culturally relevant, and centered around real solutions, not bureaucracy. I hate saying that word. All right? But maybe I'm wrong. Y'all more than welcome to, put your input in the chat down below.
Or in some areas, if every parent spent an extra $1 and bought another pack of pencils, right? Or, a few extra packs of erasers that are like 50 cents. Nobody is saying you got to spend this excessive amount of money. So that the kid over here with the parent that's saying, I'm not buying my kid any school supplies, or the parent who cannot afford any, let's remember that. The parent that cannot afford any, that child can have what it needs to succeed. You guys got to think that our children are our future. If they're not succeeding now or not set up for success, this might impact us way down the line. So you got to see the bigger picture. Like, y'all got to stop. Oh my God. Like, I just cannot believe that this is a trending topic right now. School supplies, y'all. This is crazy.
And this whole talk about buying more supplies to help the kids in need, No, it's not about helping kids in need. It's about holding parents accountable for taking care of their own children. Period. You're sending your kids to free public school already, and you can't even buy a 50-cent eraser or a pack of $1 pencils? No. This is not about helping kids in need. It's about parents simply not giving a F about their own children. Y'all got to remember, these are the same people that get those child tax credits every year, tax season. How they don't have no money at all? Because I don't care who you are, what you don't got. You can't tell me you don't have $20 to $25 to make sure your child is equipped with what they need to go to school for the whole school year. Like, cut it out. Y'all spend more money on that on lemon pepper wings. Nah, they ain't fooling me. I don't feel sorry for you. This is not about helping other children. Yep. It's about taking care of the ones you got and buying school supplies. That's a part of being a parent. If you didn't want to spend the money to take care of these kids, why are y'all sitting around having them? And then what I don't understand, they'll use those same kids to get resources from the government or child support, tax money, all kinds of money. You'll use those kids to get that money, but won't reinvest any of the money that you get for them into them. Which is supposed to be the purpose and the reason for that money in the first place. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Tell me what you think about this below. Special thank you to Rob P. I appreciate you, Rob, for all of your support for the channel. Let me tell you what the problem is, Pink Book Lessons, all right? Before I give my, I put the message that I got to put out there, right, and say what I got to say, all right? This is the issue that and those are the issues that we're having nowadays. They taught us to, split everything, but not the heavy costs, right? And what's crazy, people don't even realize, right? We keep saying it takes a village, but, when is it time to show up? Too many folks ghost. Like, the mission. Like, listen, let's be real, right? Every time I come online or I hear somebody talking outside, it takes a village to raise our kids, right? But when is y'all going to show up? It's too many folks ghosting the mission, all right? School supply lists aren't the enemy. Neglect is. And while some parents are busy, blaming teachers, others are out here grinding, stretching every dollar, making sure their kids walk into class with dignity, respect, right? Like, we got to respect them. Respect to the educators who patch the gaps with love and leftovers. But let's not act brand new, all right? The same energy spent on brunches, bottles, and hookah could have stocked a whole classroom. We've lost sight of the blueprint. Our ancestors carved a struggle and sacrifice where, where education was sacred, right? And community meant showing up, not just showing off, all right? And sounding off. So here's to the truth. If we want better for our kids, we gotta be better for our kids. Less complaining, more contributing, all right? Less chaos, more collaboration. The system won't fix itself, but we can shake it up. Let's shake the people within the system, all right? Because when y'all hear me say that, y'all know that I'm talking about the people within the system, especially if y'all have been watching me, if y'all been following me, if y'all been conversing with me, all right? And we got to start with one act, one donation, one conversation. That's how we rebuild the village. That's how we honor the legacy. All right, it's too much of this going on. Too much. But y'all want to keep complaining? Whoa, what happened? These people is tripping. So, like I said, we do these lives for improvement, all right? To, bring awareness of the things that are happening within our communities. This little fly they let in is irking my soul right now. You know that? Like, that's why we have these panels.
So many things going on around the world that a lot of us barely know about. So many untold stories. It is time to break free from the chains of society and be who we are truly meant to be. For 2 to 3 hours, Writers for Life is going to start a segment called Let's talk about it, y'all. And we're going to talk about it all. Do you really know what is going on around you? Do you know what's happening? Do you know how many of our kids are going missing? Do you know how many predators are out there? It is time to come together and talk about everything that's going on. Can we make a difference? Can we make a change? How can we do it if we cannot come together?
I was gonna say, wait, oh, that's Young Rhea saying hi to everybody in the chat. I was like, wait, what is going on? Like Miss Chicago? I'm like, I thought Miss Chicago was already here. All right, guys, man. That's all I really wanted to say there, right? And before we log off, right, let me leave you with this, right? We're not just surviving systems, all right? We are dismantling illusions. Every lie dressed as a law, every silence sold as peace, every normal that numbs our spirit. We see it, we name it, we reject it, all right? This platform isn't just, how can I say, commentary. It's ancestral memory, all right? It's the echo of those who walked before us, who dared to dream beyond chains, all right? And it's the voice of those rising down, demanding more than representation. We want reclamation, all right? So if today's episode made you uncomfortable, good. Sit with that, all right? Let's crack something open, because comfort never changed the world. Truth did, all right? Until next time, stay loud, stay rooted, and stay ready. This is y'all Shorty, and a Shorty is out. Like, all right, we out. Like, we need to get our shit together.
Participate and give that energy away so that